Garden of love, and saw what I never had seen. A chapel was built in the midst, where I used to play on the green, and the gates of the chapel were shut, and thou shalt not writ over the door. So I turned to the garden of love, and so many sweet bowers bore. But I saw it was filled with graves, and tombstones where flowers should be. And priests in black gowns were walking their rounds and binding with briars my joys and desires. Okay, next is Yeats. The Ragged Wood. Oh, hurry, where by water, among trees, the delicate stepping stag and his lady sigh, when they have but looked upon their images. Would none had ever loved but you and I. Or have you heard the sliding silver-shoed, pale silver proud, queen woman of the sky, when the sun looked out of his golden hood? Oh, that none ever loved but you and I. Oh, hurry to the Ragged Wood, for there I will drive all those lovers out and cry, oh, my share of the world, oh, yellow hair. No one has ever loved but you and I. A little poem I wrote to Eros. Sometimes a man's relationship with Eros is a ragged wound leading him to pain and disconnection more than joy and connection with the one that he's pursuing. Your arrows pierce my loin heart, stop the breath in my throat chest. You have given your hounds my scent, their bay's body etched and constant. Soon your dogs of desire will find the caves of shame that hide my mind. Teeth into bone they will drag me out. Many I'll mangle in that fierce bout. Your pursuit will never end until this prey your arrows rend. And as I was memorizing that poem, I'll say something funny now. We have a special prize for anyone who can notice. You know, I teach 5th grade mostly, resource teacher, and whoever can find the word that's in common between this poem and the next poem, we have a special prize for you.
You mean the poem you already did, so we have to think back?
Yes, the one I just did.
Oh, we weren't looking.
And actually, it's one word that led me to this Yeats poem that I think was the first Yeats poem I ever memorized about 15 years ago. And the first one I ever wanted to talk in an Irish accent because it's a favorite of Michael Mead's. It's called Crazy Jane Talks with the Bishop. And when Yeats was a young man in Sligo, there was this woman who went around selling flowers at the pubs, and I guess she had quite a wit about her, and she was kind of his model for the Crazy Jane poems. We'll be going to Sligo too this summer. So I met the bishop on the road, and much said he and I, those breasts are flat and fallen now, those veins must soon run dry. Live in a heavenly mansion, not in some foul sty. But fair and foul are near of kin, and fair needs foul, I cried. My friends are dead, but that's a truth, nor grave nor bed denied, learned in bodily lowliness and in the heart's pride. A woman may be proud or stiff when on love intent, But love has pitched his mansion in the place of excrement. For nothing can be sold or whole that has not been rent.
Love.
Who's gonna win the prize?
Love.
Come on. Hands.
Love.
No.
Rent.
Sure.
Woo!
Love was in both of them.
One was rent, one was rent, but it's still meaning to cut apart. Good, Bill. I knew you would be the one to. Okay.
I got it because I was afraid to say. Yeah, that's true. It's shy and it's over.
This next poem is just such one of Yeats' most beautiful poems. Before the world was made, I have a little something. Who was this Yeats guy? So there's a really nice essay by the famous writer Joyce Carol Oates back in the 60s called The Formidable W.B. Yeats. Let's read a couple lines. Of the modern poets, Yeats is the most formidable, most alarming, and mad. There is no way into Yeats without succumbing to him, giving up one's will to his. One must be converted to Yeats in order to read Yeats. He demands nothing less than obsession. So in reading Yeats, we resist him as we resist going insane, losing the strength of our egos. Eventually, we succumb to his superior being, and our lives are never the same again. The essential Yeats is a man with no personality at all, refined of the vexing, heartbreaking follies of Irish history, refined of his own unhappy personal history, transformed into pure emotion, pure essence. To be prophetic like Yeats, one must be more than a man, he must be an apocalypse. To experience Yeats deeply is to lose oneself, or to experience a weakening of one's contained self. Yeats is a solitary man, a mystic. He makes us realize tragically that we too desire a fantastic personal deification, but that we are too modest, too rational, too embarrassed to make our claim. Therefore, Yeats is a temptation to us, a frightening possibility, because what we know is what keeps us ourselves, keeps us from being Yeats or someone else, Shakespeare perhaps, or Blake, any unimagined possibility. Foolish and passionate Yeats prays in his old age. God guard me from those thoughts men think in the mind alone. He that sings a lasting song thinks in a marrow bone.
Can you make any similarity between, or can any similarity be made between William Blake and Yeats?
Well, Yeats really loved and respected Blake.
Okay.
You know, he wrote a whole
I didn't know that.
a huge 70, 100-page introduction, and then he put together a volume of all of Blake's work.
Okay.
And he did all this ancestral research to prove that Blake was of Irish ancestry.
Was he?
Yeah,
What? He was a what?
that he was of Irish ancestry.
Of Irish, yeah.
Blake lived in England.
Oh.
Never had moved over there.
Lots of them did.
No, we're not.
Okay, next poem is, so before the world was made. You have to imagine me as a beautiful woman. Eros, okay? If I make the lashes dark, genius here. If I make the lashes dark, and the eyes more bright, and the lips more scarlet, or ask if all be right from mirror after mirror, no vanities displayed, I'm looking for the face I had before the world was made. What if I look upon a man as though on my beloved, and my blood be cold the while, and my heart unmoved? Why should he think me cruel, or that he's betrayed? I'd have him love the thing that was before the world was made. All right, now, give me